New dialogues, running, sound effects, animations, quest expansion, and more were recently added into the game. I decided to split the recent changes into several parts and distribute them across multiple episodes. So in this episode, I'll start talking about the changes I recently introduced into the game, including improvements to the running level and the terminal minigame. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello there, it's KyPDuk from KyPDuk Studio here. I'll start with the runner level first. As I was saying in one of my previous videos, I wasn't fond of the fact that the level simply restarts on game over. No animation, no confirmation, no sound feedback, nothing at all. So I decided to add all of it in one go. First, on animations and audio response. Currently there are 3 ways to embarrass yourself here: to bump into one of the poles, to bump into the barrels, or into the glass. As you can imagine, all 3 cases needed a separate animation, otherwise it would look quite peculiar. I decided to start with barrels first. As the barrels in the game are not that tall, I wanted the character to kind of fall over them. You know, like when you bump into a table, for example, and in order not to fall forward, you stretch your hands in front of you. Well, but here it's not a table and the guy is running. And that's exactly the animation which I worked on. Didn't take many frames, but the process was enjoyable. An interesting thing is that even though I worked on a very small canvas and the head is just a few pixels wide and tall, about 7 by 10 pixels, sometimes a bit more, and during the animation player most likely won't see the face, I still wanted to add some facial expressions, just for my own enjoyment and training. So as you can see on this frame, the guy is kind of realizing the coming of the inevitable, or this frame where he passes out. I then also added a sound effect to make sure that there is an audio response. But if that wasn't enough for the poor guy, I also decided to add the final piece, so as soon as the animation finishes, the guard spawns off screen, runs to the protagonist and starts to beat the shit out of him. Obviously, that is accompanied by an appropriate sound effect, which I recorded using a stick and a pillow. Next is the pole. That was tricky in terms of understanding which keyframes should be applied. Honestly, I cannot say that I'm very pleased with the animation so far, and I will most likely rework it in the future, but for now it is what it is. The appropriate sound effect was added as well. And of course, our caring guard appears right after to perform his usual duty. The glass. This one was the most interesting for me, and not due to the character animation that was actually quite straightforward, but in terms of the glass itself. I obviously wanted it to shatter, and that's something which took me some time to fine-tune, though in the end I figured it out, and currently I have this animation in place. And as you probably guessed already, the Brave Guard appears here as well. Just a small sneak peek into the process. To identify keyframes, I was bumping into the armchair for the barrel animation and into the corner for the pole animation, kind of in slow-mo. And yes, it was absolutely weird. The last touch was a confirmation menu, and that was almost very straightforward, as I just had to add one which was already created for the usual levels. Though when I added it, I realized that there was one thing missing from the menu itself, which was controlling it through keys. As that was sitting in the backlog and had to be done anyway, I implemented this part as well. By the way, there is this beating effect which doesn't stop on menu pop-up, and at first I wanted to stop it, but then I thought that it could be a nice reminder of mistakes of the past for players. Let me know what you think about it. If it's something that will piss people off, I most likely will leave it there. So when all was added, I played the level and I thought that it wasn't good enough. Even though the player can control the protagonist to run up and down the path, it made no sense given the fact that you can just run straight forward. Initially I wanted to add NPCs who'll wander along the path, and I'm still going to do that, but for the demo and for this particular level, I just decided to add static objects. And that's where I was somewhere happy with the results. Let me know if you have any thoughts on these in the comment section below. And by the way, somewhere in the same area you'll find those peculiar like, subscribe and notify buttons, saying just in case if you want to test if they are working. Next, terminal. That actually came from the playtest. I was asked if I could add a help screen somewhere so the player won't have to execute the help command every time they need to check the command list. Just a quick recap, there are several commands which can be executed in the terminal, and to know which ones are available, the player has to type help and hit enter, so the terminal will return the list. While I won't be removing this, as this is the way, I decided to add a feature alongside it. So while in the terminal, the player can hold the Alt key and the help screen will just render on top of the terminal window. I think that might help some players become accustomed to the commands quicker. And while now this will be on by default, I'm really considering making it a triggerable feature somewhere in the settings later on. Well, I'll be trying to keep episodes short, so that will be me for today, and I'll continue covering the changes in the next episode. So, subscribe to the channel if you want to track the development process, visit the Steam or itch.io pages if you wish. I also have other socials, everything will be in the description below. Have a very nice day, night, or whichever time of the day it is for you now, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.